Shalom, shalom. Want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, right? This brother Aliyah, right? New Wine Congregation, right? We finna get into this thing, man. Slothfulness is not where it's at, right? Slothfulness is not where it's at, right? So you got one might would say, you know, well, I got 2 jobs, right? I work here, I work there, I do this, I do that, right? But what about in the spirit, right? Right, where's your grind in the spirit, right? Where's your grind when you're trying to serve the Most High, right? Because we are commanding this thing to have a just balance, right? We should have a just balance in this thing, right? Let's go to Leviticus, right? Start this out, right? Leviticus chapter 19, right? Leviticus chapter 19 and verse number 36 said, just balances, right? Just weights, right? A just ephah and a just hin shall ye have, right? I am the Lord your God, right? So we got to have a just balance in this walk, right? A just balance in the truth, right? You got to be able to balance out your work life, right? You got to be able to balance out this life in the truth, right? And just as you give time and energy to the so-called white man or anything, whether it be your own business or whatever it is, right? Anything in the flesh and in the physical world, you got to give that much more in the spirit, right? As in reading, right? Praying, right? Fasting, right? Being diligent. You could be laboring, right? Out there passing out flyers, right? Holding posts, exhorting your brothers, giving counsel, making videos, right? Watching videos, right? Studying. Sisters, y'all could be sewing, praying too, being on praying together, reading together, right? Exhorting one another, right? Things like that. These are things you could be doing in the ministry, right? Being diligent and fervent in the spirit, right? But let's go to Sirach chapter 22 and verse number 1. It says, a slothful man is compared to a filthy stone. So it compares a slothful man to a stone that's filthy, right? A stone that has all kind of vile things, just something filthy, right? We supposed to be precious stones. We supposed to be precious, right? Supposed to be like gold, right? But when you're a slothful man, you look as a filthy stone, right? Something that's worthless, right? Something that's not profitable, right? And it says, and everyone will hiss him out of his disgrace, right? So you don't want to be a man, right? That is that's not working in the spirit, that's not grinding in the spirit. Because as a man, you got to provide for your household, right? But you also got to provide for your household in the spirit, as in leading your household in the spirit. How can you lead your household in the spirit, right? But you're not reading, but you're not praying, right? You're not fasting, right? You're not teaching your woman, right? Well, how can you do that, right? These are all parts of being active in the spirit, right? Having motion in the spirit. You know, Jake in the world say, I got motion, right? Motion this, motion that. What motion you got going on in the spirit, right? Where's your grind in the spirit, right? It says, a slothful man is compared to filth of a dunghill. Right? It said a slothful man is compared to filth of a dunghill. So you can just imagine a pile of feces, a damn mountain high. Right? That's a slothful man. Right? It compares a slothful man. He said it's filthy like a dunghill, man. Right? You don't want to be considered you don't want to be compared to anything as filthy as a dang dunghill, man. Right? But that comes with being a slothful man. That comes with not reading, right? All you do is sit there and watch TV all day, right? Watch them YouTube reels, watching TikTok all day, right? But you never once pick up your Bible, right? Or throw up a prayer, right? Or you could be giving counsel, like I said, giving counsel. A sister, she could say, well, hey man, let me go get something. Let me put this fringe on this dress, or let me put this fringe on this shirt, right? Something. Let me call to check on a brother. Let me ask a brother to read. It's something that you could be doing in the ministry, right? Instead of just sitting there, right, entertaining folly all day, right? Now, yes, it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with watching a little TV here and there, but make sure that you put in your time right for the Most High God, right? Put in your spiritual grind for your how about Shema Shai, because that's our initial job in everything that we have, right? What's the whole duty? All right, let's go to Ecclesiastes 12:13, man. The classic. Right? So this is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse number 13. And it reads, says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Right? When it says it's the whole duty, that's our whole purpose. Right? It's to fear God, keep his commandments, to be a servant of him. Right? When you have a job, right, it's certain things that you must do that surrounds the scope of your job, right? Right? If you have a job, right, your job might be a damn correction officer or something, right? The scope of your job is, right, it's taking care of the prisoners, right? Making sure that all the doors are locked, right? Making sure you're keeping your laws nice, right? Things like that. Making sure you're being alert, right? Watching, paying attention, right? When it's truth, the scope of our job, praying, fasting, repenting, having faith, keeping the commandments. This is the scope of our job, right? Being sincere, doing the works, laboring. This is the scope of our job. These are things that we got to do, right, as servants, right? Let's go to Romans chapter 12 and verse, go to verse 11. It says, let me just go to verse 10, start verse 10. It says, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love, right? In honor, preferring one another, not slothful in business, right? So it said not to be slothful in business, right? This is our business. This is our main business. This is our primary business. Being a servant of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's our primary business. That's our primary job, right? Then you have your secondary job, right? Which might be your job at Walmart, Costco's, or you're a CEO of your business. That's your secondary duty. But your primary duty is to be a servant of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, to keep these commandments, to be diligent, to be obedient to him. That's your primary duty, right? Making sure that you're reading, right? Praying, right? Whatever it is, right? If you're a teacher, don't be slothful in teaching, right? If you're a reader, don't be slothful in reading, right? If you're good at sewing, sister, don't be slothful in that, right? Kind of get into that thing, right? Put in that work, right? It says slothful in business, right? You got a lot of people, right? They hate going to work. They hate getting up in the morning, right? They hate going to their job, right? You can't hate doing the Lord's business, right? You can't hate wanting to pray. You can't hate wanting to fast, right? You can't hate wanting to get some reading in, get some studying. You can't hate these things, right? You got to want to get into it, man. You got to want to be happy, elated to do the work of the Lord, right? And it says, fervent in spirit, right? Serving the Lord, right? It said fervent in spirit, right? We go into that word fervent, right? Boiling hot, right? Hot, on fire, right? Zeal, right? These are things we look at, we see that word fervent in the blue letter, right? So you want to be on fire in this thing, right? Let's go to the classic Revelation 3:15, right? It says, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot, right? I would thou wert cold or hot, right? So Lord say, I want you to be cold, or I want you to be on fire, right? So you want to be on fire in this thing. You damn sure don't want to be on, you definitely don't want to be cold, man, right? You don't want to be that servant that's sitting there, right, freezing, man. You want to be that servant that's on fire in the spirit, right? Because the Lord, it says the Lord is a consuming fire, right? His angels on fire, right? So how much so as us being his servants of being on fire as well, right? So you want to make sure that you're being on fire, right? And it says, serving the Lord. So you want to be on fire serving Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 19. Book of Proverbs chapter 19, verse 15. It says, slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep. So by you being slothful, right? Because the Lord told us in the scriptures, right, It's saying Romans chapter 13, verse 11, that said, now it is high time to wake out of sleep. So Lord command us to wake up out of sleep, right? You don't want to be that servant, right, that's becoming slothful, right? You done found out that you're an Israelite. You know you got to keep the commandments. You know you got to be diligent. And that's it. You stop right there, right? You don't read, right? You don't pray. You don't fast. You don't do nothing. All you do is just sit there and then watch the whole bunch of Netflix specials, right? Hulu all day long, right? On dang social media all day, right? You don't want to be that servant. You want to be that servant that's grinding in the spirit, right? That's a hustle, that hustler mentality in the spirit, right? Jake does say, I'm a hustler. I hustle, right? They hustle in carnality, right? The physical things. What about hustling, being a hustler in the spirit? You always gotta find something to do in the spirit. Oh, I want to go labor. Or I want to do a breakdown. Or I want to watch this video. Or I want to pray. Or I want to do this. Or let me call this brother. Let me do this. You gotta want to be doing something, right? Let me get this precept in 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 15. It says, I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Slothfulness, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, right? They have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints, right? So that these men, right, these mighty men have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints, right? They made their mission, right, to be about the ministry, right? Constantly involved in doing works. Right, you want to be constantly involved in doing works of righteousness, right? In the spirit, going hard for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? Like I was talking to the brother on the call the other day, and was just saying about how when you're addicted to these drugs, people that are addicted to drugs, right? These drugs, they tear down their body, right? People are addicted to things like gambling, right? Addicted to gaming. All these things are unprofitable addictions, right? Things that can do you more harm than good, right? But being addicted to the ministry can do you nothing but good, right? It can do it. Hey, that's gonna build you up in the spirit. It's gonna build up your faith in this thing, right? Let's get Matthew chapter 4. Matter of fact, let me get Matthew chapter not Matthew, John. It's a couple precepts in my head right now. So I'm going to just go to Matthew chapter 4. I'm going to go to that one. Matthew chapter 4 verse 1 said, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God, right? So, me pointing to bring out this precept is by you sitting there, you occupying yourself with these scriptures, right? With these things, you'll be fed spiritual food, right? Spiritual bread that lasts forever, right? Food that lasts forever, right? Something that can cause you to not starve in this thing, right? Why would I say that, right? Because when you slothful, right? When you idle, right? It can cause you to starve in the spirit, right? That's when we keep reading on in verse 15 in Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 15. Let's go to it. Proverbs 19 and 15 says, slothfulness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. So it says that soul that's idle, right? When you're idle, you're not doing nothing but sitting there, right? If anybody know about just sitting there, just idle, you're just sitting there. You're just sitting there. When you got your truck idle, your truck just sitting on. It's not moving. It's not going nowhere, right? If you drive trucks, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Your truck just sitting there, And that's what a lot of us doing in the spirit, just sitting there, right? You find yourself to do everything else, right? That's vanity. But when it comes to your spirit, man, your spirit man just sitting there, starving, waiting on a plate, waiting to eat a meal, right? That but Matthew 4:4 said, hey, a man can't live by bread alone, but by every word that proceed out of the mouth of God. You got to feed your spirit man, right? Your spirit man sitting there looking emaciated, right? Sitting there damn skin and bones, because you're starving them, because you're being idle, Because you're sitting not doing nothing. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Not yet, 5. Yeah, let's get this right here. Matthew chapter 5, verse 6 says, Blessed are they blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. So you finding yourself, right, you thirsting, right? You're having a hunger for righteousness, and you don't say you're gonna be filled in this thing. You're gonna be filled, right? Because when you thirst now, so you hungry, you're kind of seeking that thing, right? You kind of seeking that thing. When you have a craving for something, right? You kind of seeking that thing. And you got a craving, like a pregnant woman. When she craves something, right? She kind of seeking after it. Where can I get this craving that I have, right? So you craving for righteousness. You craving to do things with righteousness. Hey, Lord said you be filled in this thing, right? You kind of have that big belly, right? Kind of feeling good, right? Kind of all right, right? But when you don't crave or seek righteousness, hey, you're gonna starve. Because you're being idle, right? Just sitting there like a damn lump on the log. Right, let's get Proverbs 6 and 6, man. Not Proverbs 6, so let's go to Matthew. Not Matthew, but Luke. Luke, man. Luke chapter 22 and verse 46. It says, and he says to them, he says to them, why sleep ye, right? Rise and pray, lest ye enter into temptation, right? So we don't want to be sleep to where we get ourselves kind of caught off guard and now we enter into temptation. Because when you're sitting there and you're slothful in the spirit, now you're giving room for these demons to attack you. Now you're giving room for these demons to catch you lacking. Because you're not being active. Right? When you active, right? Like Jake said in the streets, they active in the streets. When they active in the streets, right? It's hard to catch them lacking. Right? You got to be active with these demons. Right? You got to be active with sin. Right? You got to be active with transgression. Right? You got to be I got to stay in the spirit. Now I got to make sure I read. Now I got to make sure I pray. Now I got to make sure I do this. Right? I got to go labor. Right? I got to do this. I got to do that. Right? Trying to be active in this ministry. Trying to be active in the spirit. Right? It gives less room for demons to come and plague you. Right? When your mind not focused on things of the spirit of righteousness, right? It kind of drift off. Right? And what happens when your mind starts drifting? You kind of get sleepy. Right? Kind of close your eyes a little bit. Then you do this number, you do the head nod. Then you off to sleep. Then the damn demon hop on you. Right? Kind of catch you lacking. Right? You don't want to be like that spirit. So rise up. Right? Brothers and sisters, rise up. Right? Pray. Do something. Right? You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what it is. It don't matter what it is. Do something, right, that's profitable to the ministry. Hell, you could just call a sister or a brother, hey, you want to read today? Hey, it's prayer day. Or you can set your own alarm. All right, this time I'm gonna pray right here. Right, then I'm gonna set another prayer for this time. Then I'm gonna have set a prayer for that time. Or I'm gonna read this chapter. Then later I'm gonna read like that chapter. Okay, on this week I'm gonna fast on this day. Then next week I'm gonna fast on that day. Like you kind of getting yourself trying to kind of like it's your job, right? You know what your job. You kind of setting your work schedule, right? How your work schedule thing going on, right? You got a kind of project going on. You got something that you kind of focusing on, right? And we gotta have something that we focusing on in the spirit. Right, I'm trying to beat this demon, so I need to go and get on these precepts. I need to be doing this. Or I see this brother, he need help. Let me make sure I try to pray with him or read with him or do something. Do your part, right, and being active in the ministry, not only for others, but for yourself. Right? For yourself, you gotta yourself be active in the ministry, right? Be diligent, be on fire, be sincere, right? But with that, man, I want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? Just a quick little lesson on, hey, don't be slothful in this thing, right? Get up and move. Have some motion in the spirit. Shalom.